Oh, wrong one. Oh. So, one thing that some of you may have noticed is maybe not. Who knows? Um, I actually went live on YouTube as well. So I've decided that I'm actually going to go live on YouTube and on Facebook, just because I've heard some feedback from some people, and they told me that they would rather watch me on YouTube. They would rather watch me on Facebook. So I decided I'm going to go live on both. If I get in trouble by Facebook, there's really not much that I can do by that. I But I got to do what my viewers want, and it's not something that I have to do. And I want to stress that enough is that I don't have to do that, but I did because I want as many people to feel as comfortable as possible. So that's what I'm doing. From now on, I'm going to go live on Facebook and YouTube for people in my Discord. I did set it up to where you will be notified when I go live on YouTube. So if you'd rather watch me there, please go check it out at Purge TCS. I'm absolutely open and willing to have you be there too. And like it says, I am the first 100 people that subscribe to my YouTube. So if you haven't already, please do so. Be sure to hit that notification bell. The first 100 people that subscribe to my YouTube channel will then get a free T-shirt with their name on it. I'm going to have the first 100 be on the back of the shirt, so your name will be there. And then obviously my logo and maybe even a couple other designs. I haven't really decided yet on how that's going to work, but yeah, that's what I'm doing. But I did want to touch base, and it's in my description. Call of Duty Operation Monarch, and I did go live a little bit later because I wanted to get as much information as I could from that, and from what I've noticed, there absolutely is no. I'm turning that up. There absolutely almost none. There's no information on Operation Monarch other than the video, and there's a couple of videos. One where the operators are fighting and they find a bunch of devices in the back of a truck, and then there's another video, and this video showcases King Kong versus Godzilla. I will say that it's an interesting idea, and I'm excited to see what happens. Because what we have to realize is that this is going to be the largest scale event that Call of Duty Warzone has ever had. Now, this is not going to happen in Vanguard. From what I'm understanding and from what I'm reading, this is not going to happen in Vanguard. So it's going to be interesting to see how it's going to play out in Warzone. Because if you watch the video, King Kong and Godzilla are towering over the tallest trees in Caldera. I mean, we're talking Empire State Building compared to an apartment complex. Like, it's fucking insane with how massive they made these characters. Now, it's not really clear on how it's gonna play out. Some people are speculating that this fight is gonna be happening while Battle Royale is going on. There's another idea out there that maybe you're trying to take them down, so like it's kind of like a large scale battle royale, but the only things that you're going to be going against is Godzilla and King Kong. So like there's so many different ideas, and it's really interesting to see how it's going to play out. It happens May 11th, so we're talking what? Little under 2 months from now. So I mean, I don't know how well it's going to happen. I really don't. It's kind of it's kind of a nutty idea, and I understand that. Like, okay, so here's one thing, right? One thing is that when we look at this, we look at it as, why the fuck are they doing this? Now, if we base it off of the ideology of why is this happening in Warzone, because Warzone, Call of Duty, they're trying to make a name for themselves for being as realistic as possible. Like a couple of months, like I guess you could call it like less than a month, like over a month and a half, maybe. It's not quite 2 months, but it's a little under 2 months. But what people have what we have to understand is that if we're thinking time wise, it makes sense, because King Kong originally took place what, 50s, 60s, somewhere in there, and May is next month. Oh shit. May is next month. My fucking bad. My time frame's all off. I forgot that we were in April for a second. I thought we were not in April. Yeah, May 11th is in 3 weeks. So that was my bad. We have a few weeks. We don't have a couple months. But King Kong happened around the 50s, right? And Warzone is supposed to be taking place now in the early to mid 1940s. So the time frame isn't that off. Now, the same thing goes for Godzilla. If you look at all the movies and shit like that, like throughout time, they've always been portrayed that, with the U.S. and having Russian spies and stuff like that, there was always this nuclear war that was always. Nick, I have no idea what I'd do without you. But there was always this nuclear war that was always in fear of breaking out between the two. So, this nuclear war had happened, and all of a sudden, a nuclear bomb had gone off during nuclear testing, and it then awoken Godzilla. Now, the time frame for Godzilla is almost spot on. I mean, we're talking between the 40s and the 50s. So it's almost spot on to where the time frame is. Now, do I believe that we should have this? No. But is it the largest scale event that Warzone has ever had? Yes. We're not talking changes to the map. We're not talking anything like that. We're going to have a massive, large-scale, something type of fight between two essentially gods within themselves battling it out. How it's going to play out with operators and also King Kong and Godzilla, that's to be determined. That hasn't been determined yet. But I think we're going to either have to battle it out with the two as they're battling each other, or the more realistic one is that we're going to be having a massive, or we're going to have a regular battle royale, but King Kong and Godzilla are going to be fighting while we are fighting each other, and we just have to watch the fuck out because they're going to be battling all over the map. So as long as they keep the scale correct as it's shown in the video, I think we'd be all right. I truly do think we'd be all right. It's just a matter of what happens, I guess. I mean, as time goes on within the next couple weeks here, I think it's definitely going to end up, more information is going to come out here and there, but my overall thought, at least right now, is that I think it's going to be interesting, and I'm not there with it yet. I have to kind of see what else is being planned to kind of see what we're dealing with and what we're up against. Because if that were the case, it'll be interesting to say the least. Those are my thoughts. I would love to hear every single one of yours. Three quarters of the height of peak, pretty much. Yeah. Yeah. So, and that's the thing. Like we're talking literally an Empire State Building compared to an apartment just a unit compared to our scale to theirs. Because like Nick just said, it is a 3/4 of the height of peak. Peak is fucking massive compared to us. So like, how is that going to play out with how we are and how the map? I don't know. Because I mean, to be fair, like Caldera is kind of a small map. Like it's definitely not as big as something like Verdansk. So on a smaller map, we're talking massive fucking, like, essentially animals just duking it out. Like, I don't know, man. I really don't. Nicholas. What are your thoughts, man? I'm curious.
What?
Operation Monarch, what do you think?
I haven't read up anything on it, so I mean, the first stuff I've learned on it is from what I've been saying. But I mean, with the dimensions that you're putting out, and I don't know, just the way you're describing their size. I mean, they'd be sizable bastards. They'd have some high coverage. And Caldera is not that big.
Caldera is not big at all. Compared to Verdansk, it's not comparable. So,
yeah.
We're talking, like, even if you look at, like, the movies, like, we're talking...
Well, I mean...
These creatures are as tall as...
Yeah.
Like, they're as tall as buildings. Like, they're fucking, like...
Well, not in the case of King Kong.
Well, it depends on which version. Because if we're talking the one with Jack Black, no. But if we're talking in the case of the newest one...
I mean...
he gets there. Like, he's fucking massive compared to the one that was done in, what, 2005?
2005.
So we're talking a 2005 version of King Kong that is literally just a gorilla on a massive scale compared to an upright Godzilla or King Kong that's fucking massive compared to that one. Because if you think about the two scales, right? If you think about the two scales between the two, King Kong in the 2005 version wasn't as big. He was still under trees. Granted, he came to the top of some of the trees, not all of the trees. Whereas if you compared him to like a redwood, he wouldn't go as tall as a redwood. But if you're thinking about like the 2021 version, we're talking he is the size of a redwood, if not larger.
It was 2019 actually.
2019. So we're talking twice, if not three times, the size of a redwood tree. So like,
looking at some pictures of King Kong in the Empire State Building.
And we've only seen 2005 version.
No,
the
original did that as well.
Right, and I'm saying from
original.
newer perspectives, we still had seen the 2005 on the Empire State Building, like the older movies in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. So that 5-6
Giving a
decades.
generic thought, if I'm giving a generic thought about height, Empire State Building's about 1,300 feet, give or take a little bit. You probably stack about 5 Kongs, so anywhere between about 250, 300 feet tall.
Okay, so King Kong originally came out in 1933, so we're talking
Yeah.
7 to 8 decades. If we're talking to the newest one, we're talking like 9 decades, almost 9 decades of King Kong. So like, that's fucking wild. Now the original King
No, I
Kong
was
Skull
way
Island
off.
was 2017.
Yeah, that's fucking way off.
Scale. Okay, so King Kong through the Skull Island version, we're talking 350 meters. So
I mean, he's not gonna be like 1,000 feet tall. That's all I'm saying.
maybe not in Warzone, but like, if we're just purely talking about the scale of King Kong, he is 1,148 feet tall. If we're talking about the Skull Island version, so he is almost as tall as the peak of the Empire State Building, give or take like 150 feet.
Yeah, they might scale him up though.
They might.
Warzone, I'm saying.
Right. And that's what's fucking freaky is we're not even as big as dude's pinky toe. Like, you take all 150 of us, and we still don't stack up to his pinky toe if we're talking on that scale.
I mean, we could always think of the Orda from Outbreak, in Cold War.
If we're talking about the one that doesn't roam,
If we're talking straight height,
even on
So
the one that
straight.
roams, because if you're talking about the one that roams, he would be like 10 times the size of that. If we're talking scale to us compared to King Kong, but
rather than the one on oh my gosh, I completely forgot what it was
the
called.
first map that came out,
Yeah.
that wasn't even the first map, it was the second map. So if we're talking the second map that ever came out in Black Ops, I would say maybe that would be the scale, if not twice the size. If we base it off of a Call of Duty reference, and we don't know, and like that's what's freaky, is like we have no idea what the fuck is gonna happen. We have no idea how this is gonna play out. We don't know what's in Operation Monarch other than King Kong and Godzilla. We don't know the scale. We don't know what we're gonna be doing in the map alone. So how is this going to fit with our everyday Warzone play? You know, is this like, could this shape how Activision decides to throw out events? Because again, this is the largest scale event that we've ever had. If we talk based on like scale size of whatever we had, because if you think about it, like map changes, yeah, that's an event, I would say, because remember what happened in Verdansk when the so-called nuke went off. I mean, there were massive cracks, and we could fall in those cracks and battle in those cracks, and building was falling over. So like that's a large scale, but what damage is this going to do? Because you would have to imagine that there's fucking footprints, buildings are toppled over. We're talking trees knocked over. Like, this is going to be some massive battle. How is this going to play out in a Warzone setting, and what's it going to do to the map? Are they going to keep the changes? Because that's another thing. Like, are they going to keep the changes that happened? Like, could we battle a King Kong footprint for all of Caldera time? Like, how is that going to play? Because like with the nuke, that changed the map of Verdansk.
Well, that wasn't even a nuke. That was
whatever you wanna call it. I just call it a nuke because it's easier to call it that. But like, with the map changes that happened, how is that, and with the longevity that it kept, is that same thing going? That's why it's very interesting to see kind of what happens there, because we haven't really seen anything like this, so it'll be interesting to say the least.
1,000 feet. You said for Punk Skull Island.
Give or take, yeah. 11.
I'm looking at this, and it says he's. I'm looking at this, and it says he's scaled to be 104 feet.
104 feet?
Only. Yeah, I ain't gonna bug myself with it.
Yeah, like this one, it says 312 feet. So like,
I don't know.
like there's so many different charts that I'm looking at. That, I mean, we're talking. Like Kong is 335 feet, and Godzilla is 394 feet. So like, there's so many different charts that we're looking at that all say one thing, and
Yeah.
so I mean, Tracy, what's going on, man? Hey, bro, I'm back on YouTube. I didn't consult with you first. I should have, but I didn't. But yeah, I'm back on YouTube and Facebook. So yeah, if I get in trouble for it, I get in trouble for it. I just go on YouTube. That's just pretty much how I look at it. So this is my attempt to, yeah, this is my attempt to kind of appease the masses, because I know that some people like to watch on YouTube. Some people like to watch on Facebook. So now that I'm in both places, it's going to be a lot easier to just kind of let people go to where they want to go. If I wanted to be ballsy, I'd go on Twitch too, but I don't like Twitch and how they run things, so that's just not a place for me. But I am loading into Warzone right now. Honky, you here? Because May 11th, yeah, that's fucking 3 weeks. Why is there an update? Oh my god, dude. Tracy, if anything, I would probably recommend doing the same thing. I honestly, you might have to read through your terms and agreements, but I don't think that there's anything saying that you can't multi-stream, because we aren't partners yet. So I think we'd be safe, but Twitch is kind of picky on that, so I would kind of look into that a little bit more. Bro, always a fucking update. Are you getting on? What are you doing? He is not on right now. Tracy, when are you getting on? Play a couple matches and then head into Elden Ring. Well, you ended up getting, you got the boss last night, didn't you? Or the two bosses or whatever? Because I could have swore that you did. I might, but if I'm getting paid, then hey. I mean, well, yeah, dude. Like, obviously, if there's some discrepancies, then obviously I wouldn't even try it. But like, I would rather be on the side of my viewers than worry about who's gonna send me, money. So I would rather just make everybody happy instead of worry about Facebook. Because, I mean, Honky's told me many times that, and you have even told me, well, yeah, it is easier for me, but what I'm saying is that, Honky has told me multiple times, and so have you and Nick and everybody else that deals with Facebook. It's hard because for people that are in my moderation team, sometimes it comments as me, sometimes it comments as your page, sometimes it comments as yourself.
Yeah.
And even for
It's
Honky,
just, it depends on.
yeah, and even for Honky, like he tried commenting stuff as a moderator, and it blocked him from commenting whatever the fuck he was trying to comment, and he's a fucking moderator. So like that's where it gets confusing for me on why that happens, because I look through everything and I look at like my my blocked words and shit, and like I don't have fuck or fucking blocked on there. Like it doesn't make sense. So that's why, I'd rather just, if Honky wants to go and moderate there, by all means, like if you want to go moderate there, by all means, because at least you guys will be able to do that. Because like y'all don't have the moderator tag either. Like nothing's showing that you guys are moderators, and that's why I get really confused, because like I don't understand why that's not working for you guys. So I don't know. Why isn't the chat box working? See, there it is. Someone is commenting as me.
That was me.
Exactly. So, it's oh shit, I moved it.
Might be a little bit wonky, but yeah.
That just proved it right there. Like I would rather, I'd rather y'all have an easier time with that than anything.
Okay.
Exactly, and that's why I did it. 'Cause I don't want to make it harder on you guys. So
M13, MP7, SPR, hold your HDR. Each with their individual bit of backup.
for what?
I went through my setups earlier.
I really want to use an AK, but I mean, there's so many.
I wasn't particularly a fan of it yesterday. The few times I used it.
Well, the thing is that like this is such an open map that like you're kind of almost like screwing
You want some
yourself.
a little bit of range.
Right, you're kind of screwing yourself if you don't run a sniper. I mean, granted, yes, I would love, and Facebook was freezing. Oh, fuck that. But like the way that the map is just laid out, I would rather have a sniper to be able to hit something at range instead of having to worry about, are my shots gonna hit? And if they have a sniper, they're definitely gonna be able to hit me before I can hit them. So, Tracy, that also might have been me too, because I was switching over and everything.
I mean, my range classes are overkill classes, so I got something as a backup.
Right.
More than a pistol, anyway.
try an M13 again? I kind of want it.
I honestly didn't know how to set mine up.
The M13?
Just in a way that wasn't gonna screw me.
I don't know, I've just kind of kept with the same. I might run a Cyclone barrel. And go with the original setup. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Don't I have a... There it is. I do want to look at my old one just to kind of make sure. I did have precision comb on it, but I did not have. Okay. We'll go with precision comb. Take the bipod off, and then I did have the granulated grip tape for slight control. Let's get into a duos and see what happens. Wait. Reverse resurgence solos, quads. Okay. Let me know if it's hard to hear, because I know that's been a problem as of late, so I want to make sure that y'all can hear me.
Well, I mean, if you want to hear it to yourself, I'll turn my phone back up.
Where's Godzilla? He is still currently resting in the ocean. Honky, I am on YouTube again, so if you want to go back to YouTube, that's perfectly
Back
fine.
then. That's what we should do.
Because that's kind of the whole reason why I did that. Just because I know that you have talked to me about your discrepancies with Facebook and everything, so I want to make it a little bit easier for you and for long term as moderators. So, and same thing with Nick, because I don't know where Nick lies on that, but that happens May 11th.
Push back out, pick him up.
Why is he on?
Oh.
He is not. It's because I took into account everything that you were saying before, about how chat was going for you guys, and I know that some people like being in Facebook and some people like being in YouTube, so I thought I'll just stream on both just to make it easier for you guys, and long term, I don't know, not LT, but like long term, I'm thinking about one, but right now I'm just gonna go for both. Honky, join us. You joining us? I should put a subscriber goal as well, but I don't want to make the screen too busy. Are you busy in Elden Ring, or what's or do you want us to at least go through a match and kind of see where you're at? Because I'm okay with either, so that's completely up to you, dude. I'm happy that you're in a good place that you are familiar with. Dude, you gotta figure out how to switch the name though, because you are Honky Kong, not Froggin' Truckin', bro. I'm gonna start a match just to kind of get us rolling. Honky, are you joining us today, or are you gonna stick in Elden Ring? So I'd love for you just to, if anything, kind of chill out. And Tracy, I know we talked. I've tried to really have. Oh, there you go.
Is it finally working?
Now it's working.
Stupid Xbox.
For Operation Monarch really sets the mood for Chaos City, bro. Yeah, I've decided to go on both. Just make it easier on you guys. And I do want to get more subscribers and stuff like that on YouTube, and I'm not going to be able to get that without actually like going live. So, or putting out videos, which I will be doing here soon. I just don't know when.
Check weapons and gear. You got time before deployment.
What'd you say? Keeps blocking the video?
No, it's locking up.
Enemy dropping into the AO.
Game's okay now, but
Enough training. Now you fight a real enemy.
I wonder if it's gonna happen, because YouTube, I believe, is just strictly set to 1080p. As far as I'm aware.
like that's the highest you can go.
Well, right, because I think Twitch is set at 720.
Battle Royale.
Yeah, Twitch is locked to
Set a drop point for your team, soldier.
YouTube.
The gas
think
is
YouTube
closing
is
on your
locked at
position.
720.
Suggest you start running.
You can go up to 1440.
Apparently they do 4K as well. You just they don't have to make cameras on this.
Right.
Yeah, it's not. It wasn't a. Like it's smooth, but it's not stuttering like it was before. It's so
What's up?
No, you fucking is too heavy.
Coming actual. Requesting flyover.
UAV beginning flyover.
I definitely. I don't know. Well, you.
UAV is out of fuel. Returning for resupply.
Trying to play this safe.
Broke. Got a broke in the corner. There we go. There we fucking go. Never mind, I was a big help.
Got a loadout drop inbound.
I need some kind of fucking ammo with this thing. You got a couple
Gas is right on your tail.
Load out boxes. Why is there such
Hostile dropping into the area. Watch the skies.
We have two to work. Both of them.
We're in the safe. Get ready for info.
Coming in the door.
Your teammate has entered the gulag. Surviving earns them redeployment.
There's a fight going down right here.
Your teammate is redeploying. Stand by.
I'll join you on that front. Looks it's on the rooftop.
No, it's down below.
Oh no, it's on the ground.
There's
From up
somebody
here.
right
Going
fucking
this way.
window.
I can't see. Especially the way it's fucking right now.
Where the fuck was he? He was laying in a fucking bush like a little bitch. I fucking hate him.
He's gonna be camping.
Welcome to the
He's camping
gulag.
that one spot.
If you
There's somebody in
survive,
the
you earn
house
your
and
freedom.
I was getting pegged from
Stay sharp. You'll
from
be out there
distance as
soon.
well.
You can taunt your enemy
I'm
with
not gonna
words. Or rocks.
Oh.
I prefer rocks. Stay sharp. We'll be out there soon. Right, next. Ready up. Win here and you return to the battlefield. Lose and your fight is over. Fight your way out of this or capture the objective. Done. We're sending you back to base.
He just went fucking deep fire.
Your team can pay for your release if they can afford it.
Here's what we're looking at. Nothing.
Anyone need to have wheels here.
That's your best bet right there.
Skip. That's what you meant to mark, but arrow.
Well, not so much the leg, it's the rocks. I think.
Tactical nuke inbound.
Where's that?
Right now. Honk, are you gonna join us at all, or are you sticking to?
I've been trying to play the game for a bit. I'll stick forever.
I didn't know if you were planning on staying in Elder Ring. What the plan was. So.
I'm trying. I don't know what it's catching up.
Nick, your latency is like getting up into like the 200.
I know. Yeah, I know. Shit, after this game.
200. That's all I needed. I'll find you one.
Found an aid station.
No.
Found an aid station.
That's the next one. I do not know. I have not seen any pings from that direction.
There's just fucking all these buildings in this height.
I agree.
This one, that's right by where you died. Surprised.
The
Still
building with the loadout on it is where I died. I would be very surprised if somebody is still camping there, but
you never know.
you never know. Buy me and dip, buy me and
Two.
dip. There are people there. I was running right to it. I would just backtrack. Try and grab my loadout.
Enemy UAV active.
I'm coming.
Oh, come on!
Nebula 5 bomb zone has failed.
Damn it!
Area is clear. You didn't get the fight for nothing. Finish this.
How did I just break his armor?
Good.
I literally just broke his armor and I didn't dig into any of it at all. That's some bullshit. Grab my satchel. That's my satchel.
I have one. Just
He's probably gonna be right over there in the bushes. Come behind you. He's gonna hold you. He's gonna bait you.
all headshots.
That's
They inside that time, but we'll
No.
settle the score.
that bitch. Of course not.
All fucking headshots. Oh. Invite is sent.
Give me just like restart.
Yep.
a second.
Okay. I think he's restarting everything. Let's get it done.
I wouldn't be able to see the scoreboard.
What's that?
I wasn't even able to see the scoreboard, which is stupid.
5-0. You had 5.
I did? Holy shit. Alright then. Let's see if I can carry that forward.
Nah, you shouldn't have any problems there.
Let's get a W, boys.
Oh man, do I
How much for waiting to start it?
do I run a sniper or do I just run a full ghost class?
I'm tempted to pick one of my overkill classes if I actually make it to the loadout.
Holding for deployment. Take this time to ready up.
I think it was got me. That over directly.
Ow.
But also, I was kind of pinched by 2 squads. So. M13's about as stable as I remember. I can say that was it.
Hostiles dropping into the area. Watch the skies.
No, I left.
All right.
Because I wasn't done yet.
I got them. You're okay.
Oh, come on.
Enough training.
I said hold off on starting it. And like, yeah, okay, no problem. And then as soon as Nick jumped in, he started it.
Yeah, I must have forgot.
Well, I mean, he's probably brain farts. I'm not allowed to have him. So.
No, you're not. It is engraved in the rule book. Legitimately, if you go into the rules, you will find that Ronin cannot have brain farts.
That Whitley is actually surprisingly accurate. Considering it has absolutely no stock on it. Screwed around with it in Vanguard a little earlier.
want to set up an MP4 because I've been getting wrecked by it.
I'm gonna set up something that hasn't been done in quite some time. Then again, we haven't played this in quite some time. A motherfucking brute.
Oh.
Put that on my SPR class. I put that on my SPR class. My LMG is still the same.